Have you always wanted to start your own business? Do you have an innovative idea or an invention, but just don't know how to turn it into a company? Are you already in business and need some help growing? The BRF's Entrepreneurial Accelerator Program can help. At EAP, we work alongside you, helping you with things like financial modeling, funding strategy, pitch preparation, and marketing strategy. So what are you waiting for? Go to eapla.com today and set up a time to talk with our team. Let EAP help you launch or grow your business in North Louisiana today.
I'm back again on the cusp. I got my co-host, Matt Snyder. He's with me every episode, and I appreciate it. We're back. But this is a special episode because we've got Francesca Benton Moreland from Williams Creative, and you and I have done a lot of work together. Okay,
We have.
And you got a really great story to tell, and I think everybody in Shreveport ought to hear it.
Well, I count my blessings for getting to work with folks like you, Dave, because that's what's really special, I think, about our community. We have such amazing, capable, driven, persevering people in our community, and it's like a gift every day to get to work with folks like you.
Thank you,
So
and we
thank you for
appreciate
that.
what you did, because you stepped up, and retention of companies in Shreveport-Bossiers is really important. And you saw an opportunity, you stepped up and took on Williams Creative, you and your partner. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, I actually started my career in Chicago in the Midwest, and I was very fortunate to work with very large companies, Arthur Andersen, Hill & Knowlton International, which is a PR firm. And I came down south looking for big companies to work with because that's what I was familiar with. And when I got to our community, I thought, I'll be living in Dallas. I had family there, I had family here, but I'd like to know what's going on in business in Shreveport. Surely we'll find connections and ways to work together while I'm living there. So that was really my intent, and I started to network here while I was interviewing with 11 or 12 companies in Dallas at the same time. And I called around and I found my first partner at Williams Creative Group, the founder of Williams Creative Group, Judy Williams. And we got to know each other, and before we knew it, we really connected. And there was an opportunity there for me to stay. And I thought, I'm looking at these big companies, and a lot of the people were sick and working the long hours that I had been doing in Chicago, weren't that involved in their communities since they didn't have time. And I thought, this is really what I want to be doing. I want to be involved in the community. I want to be able to be charitable, be passionate, follow my bliss, but also do great work. And I found that I could do that here.
That is an incredible story, and a lot of people don't know, but you're an Air Force brat too.
Yes, I am. Very proud of that.
Yes.
I was in the junior ROTC. My dad was a colonel at Barksdale Air Force Base. He retired there, and he's no longer with us, but he's been a role model for me all my life. And I thought I wanted to go in the Air Force, and he said, I think at that time, maybe you want to try your luck at business as a civilian. I think you could do really well. He encouraged me to do that, but I loved that military connection all my life. I was born in South Dakota at an Air Force base there called Ellsworth.
Yeah. So I've been fortunate enough, I've served with the Chamber of Commerce with you. Mm-hmm. You're active in a lot of other organizations, and you really give, you really participate and really give a lot. Mm-hmm. And we think that's really important.
Yes.
Because what we see is if you're willing to give up your time and go out and participate in some of these groups, and there's an opportunity to make a difference, then you do it. And you did that. You demonstrated that, when we were on the chamber board together with the building, okay?
Yes.
And everything like that. Talk to us a little bit about giving back and how you do that, because you're so busy with your business. You got to make time for that.
You do, but you also have to make time and find out what what's the key to happiness for you? And for me, it was not working till 10 o'clock every night necessarily without being involved in my community. I wanted to be an integral part of things that I thought were worth my time. And there's so much here that is worth our time. There's so much opportunity to connect with people who are doing great things and want great things for our community. This is our home. We have so much to offer. And I think that we have found, maybe now more than ever, that collaborating with others, coming together and doing things together and pooling our resources, our time and our talent really can make a meaningful impact. For me, and I know for many people like you, Dave, that I've worked with, that's part of finding our bliss in life and being happy and being gratified in life.
So
it's
we
both.
often talk about comparing on this show, comparing Shreveport to other places. But a lot of us, me included, have not done that much. So with you working in Chicago with big companies and whatnot, I'm interested to hear what are some things you see that are different about working in a market like Shreveport, good, and some things that make things hard, both sides of that.
Yeah. Well, in my early experiences were as an account executive first with a company called Arthur Anderson, which is no more due to Sarbanes-Oxley, but they were a professional services firm with 5 offices in Chicago alone, a huge international company. I worked for the local Chicago office, and a lot of the young people were working super hard, super long hours, and yes, we had opportunities, but we weren't as engaged as a community. We played a lot together probably to release some of the work stress, but here the difference is that a lot of the things that we're working on we're passionate about. So they're combined. We're professionally and personally gratified. That's really something that our company
So what we're
is about.
saying in these big markets is true, that there's so much going on that it's not as personal as we take it in Shreveport.
We try to make it as personal as we can. We had big, sexy projects there that I thought I wouldn't be able to find here. I worked with Parliament of the World's Religions. I saw the Dalai Lama. I was working in the newsroom for that, and that was super exciting. There were big projects where a lot of money was thrown at these jobs, but you know, there wasn't that connection as much, and it took longer, I think, to move up as a young person. I wanted to be on a faster track because I felt I could really produce and give in more of a managerial role. I didn't envision myself becoming a business owner. That was something that came later when I moved here. And it was amazing to me when that door opened, and I thought, you know, it wasn't my plan, but I was ready for whatever opportunity I thought would be my path.
So what would you say to the parent or the kid?
Yeah.
I hear it from the parents as much as I hear it from the kids now that say, yeah, she's got to go off and get her start, and she's got to go work in Dallas. There's no opportunity here. I mean, is that your feeling?
Oh no, there's so much opportunity here. I think what we find in a community like ours, we're right-sized. You know, we're right-sized to be able to know the people in our community, and we welcome as business people. We always have. Young people coming to us. If we don't have a position, we certainly have an informational interview we can offer. We can certainly offer connections. We can help set them up on other interviews or give them advice to help them on their path, help them figure out what they don't want to do. That's super valuable. I think just as valuable as thinking you know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Let's help figure out what, you know, pare it down.
Yeah, nobody knows I didn't know what I really wanted to do until I was 30 something years.
I'm not sure I know what I want to do. Okay, I think I'm on career number 3.
Day.
Okay, yeah.
It's true. And the difference for me personally, in my experience, yes, I had an amazing boss at Arthur Anderson named Joe Aramond, who is my mentor to this day. And I'm very close friends with he and his wife. Wonderful people to work with. But I would say that there's much more opportunity here to get on a fast track to figure out first what it is that you want to do or think you might want to try and do it. And I think our community, our leadership, our folks who own and manage businesses or on leadership teams, they welcome young people and young ideas and the fun and the excitement and the energy that they can inject.
Yeah.
and we're happy to guide
Nobody said
them.
there wasn't going to be opposition. Okay.
Yeah, we may want to.
You know, there's no bad idea in a brainstorm.
Yeah.
But I think I really was able to spread my wings, I think, faster. Here, I was
For
doing
sure.
well there.
I feel that way too.
Yeah,
You're a
good.
bigger fish. If I was doing what I do in Frisco,
Yeah.
I could do it on about one block because I wouldn't be able to get to every, But who would know your name? Like here, if you're doing something and you're taking risk, which is what we're trying to encourage, is people to jump and to be entrepreneurs. People will know about you and care what you're doing pretty quick in Shreveport.
And for me, it's the second thing that's as more important, if not as important, if not more important, because to me, again, it's so important for people to be happy. This is my personal philosophy in what they do.
Yeah.
If you don't love what you do, go do something else. Life is short. And how have we seen that in recent times more clearly than ever? So find your bliss. And I think in a community like ours, you have support along the way to find that and to help figure that out maybe a little faster.
Yeah.
Maybe a little faster.
That's
so it's a
happening
quality
too
of life.
across
Agreed.
the country. I think like the idea that you're gonna like get out of college, work one job for 40 years, which was so popular,
Amazing.
like in our parents. I do not think that is
Yeah.
many young people's goals even anymore.
I hope not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why we do, one of the reasons we do the university pitch competitions, all right, is we want to give people, in school while they're forming their ideas on what they want to do in life, an
Yes.
opportunity to go, I can be an entrepreneur. This
Yeah.
is doable.
It's the idea of sharing and introducing our young people to ideas they didn't have for themselves, and that's my personal story. Did not plan to own a business with my partner now. Ron Vysotsky is my partner, and we run Williams Creative Group and love what we do, love working together. It was not my plan. My plan was something else, but we can help guide people and show them the opportunity, and if you're open to it, there's plenty. There
Both
are
of y'all-
plenty
both of y'all
windows
said.
open
That's
for
the
you.
key,
Yeah.
is seeing a gap. I mean, we just talked to Grant about it last time.
Yeah.
Like seeing a gap where something needs. Williams Creative, Judy was ready to retire. You saw a gap, you were able to step in, keep a great company together. I think that's what entrepreneurs do. I mean, we've talked to so many, OleoLive, I mean, looking at so many technologies at once. I mean, if people could choose to be an entrepreneur, well, that's kind of what you're choosing.
Well, if you want to be an
bounce around.
entrepreneur and you want to do it in Shreveport, all right, you're going to be that
You
big
gotta be able
fish
to
in a
move.
small pond.
Yeah.
Okay, and people will
That's right.
rally around you. And even
will.
yesterday, Ryan Culp and I were on the phone with a company in Dallas, and that's all I'm going to say. And I told him, I said, look, you want to do that? You do that in Shreveport, and people will help you.
Yeah.
It's a great
And you'll be
business.
a star.
And you will be a star.
I was in Dallas yesterday. I mean, there's construction everywhere. Everybody's doing something. So almost to the point that everybody's doing something, so who cares? You come build one of those projects on a corner in Shreveport, and you have people standing out there taking pictures of you,
Yes.
trying to figure it out.
It'll burn up social media in Shreveport, Bossier,
That's
that you're
a real
coming to
thing.
town.
And,
okay?
and you brought up the student business pitch competitions. What we know and what we've talked about is that's the growth in Louisiana. That's where we're headed, is small businesses, entrepreneurships, people who are empowered to go exercise their ideas and build great companies. And they can do that right here. And there's so much support at our universities. And thanks to EAP doing that, and all of the mentors and the volunteers who are jumping on board to help our youth see that there are opportunities like that. Consider that if you haven't before. You didn't have to come from a family of
But
entrepreneurs or a
I see
family business.
higher ed for a long time was focused on that corporate job.
Yeah, almost anti.
Yeah, it was almost
entrepreneur.
anti.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to go start. There's too much risk.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were focusing everybody on going out there and getting the corporate job and fighting the fight and driving an hour to work every day and driving an hour home.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do that?
The corporate job used to be like, oh, I've got this corporate job. I think now the entrepreneur is the cool thing to be. I mean, that's the trendy guy.
Well, that's what we want to
Where's
do
your
with
office?
On the Cusp.
Yeah.
Think about it. On the Cusp, we want to talk about great entrepreneurs doing great things in our community, and that is what we want to elevate to the top of everybody's Google search.
Everybody
right?
talks about the risk, but there are so many more success stories that you work with, I work with, we all, than big failure stories. I actually can't think of one person that I know that opened a business in Shreveport and is now homeless. Can't think of them.
I'm so glad.
You know, everybody, when you bring these ideas,
Yeah.
you know, people are scared to death.
Yeah.
You know, oh God, like what if, but that, if we can get the message to young people, what the real reality is when you take a leap, people come around you. It's appealing to people.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
And you're not going to, like, I swear when I was getting started, people would talk to me like I was telling them I was about to start taking drugs.
Oh.
You know, like, if you do this, you're going to end up homeless in the streets.
That's not the answer.
That's
That
not
is
the
not-
case.
Right.
You know, that's not the case. And that's the message that I think has to change in university. That has to change in the environment that we're in to get more young people. Grant and I, we were just talking about this gap, and I don't know if you're seeing it, but there were so many businesses open here 10 years ago with young people, and we're just not seeing those people do that right now. And I think we have to all, as leaders, be encouraging.
Well, I think that's
Yeah.
where it goes back to serving.
Yeah.
Pick the ones that where you know you can have the most impact and go do it.
And I think speak to the motivation of, I mean, most humans that I know want to have some balance in their lives and they want to find some joy in their lives. And who better than an entrepreneur to be able to have some independence, to
Yeah.
work in the vein and the way that they would like to do that and follow their bliss. You have some control over that when you're an entrepreneur, I think more so than otherwise. And so that's a real draw and a real motivator for folks who are looking for that balance in life and that quality of life that we can offer.
Doing it in Shreveport, Bossier is
Doing
where
it
you
here.
want to do it, right?
right.
Well,
That's right.
Francesca, thanks for coming today.
Thanks
This has
for
been really
having me,
great. I'm
Dave.
always
Thank
excited
you. Yeah,
when
thank
you come. But you and I got another connection that we got to share.
Yes, we
That's
do.
And we're both War Hawks, right?
Yes.
And so we both graduated
Alumni,
from
yeah.
ULM. So
Loved it. Yeah.
go
Yeah.
War Hawks.
Go
Okay?
Warhawks, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.